what you think about it. If it's something that you enjoy, I can do it more often. I just want to remind you that if you want extra videos from me, more videos from me that are not on my YouTube channel, you can check out my Patreon. The link is down below. I just filmed an all new things haul, so everything I bought for myself in the past like 2 months, I did a giant haul. That will be over on my Patreon. I'll be posting it tomorrow, so it'll be up long before you see this. I pre-film for YouTube and I do not pre-film for Patreon, so it's like real time. There's no ads on Patreon, and I do giveaways much more often on Patreon. So the link is right below the video of me talking. There will be a blue link you can click, and that'll take you to Patreon where you can sign up. My neck is so stiff. I need a massage. I haven't had a massage in such a long time. I can ask Chris, but he doesn't do it hard enough. Like I need, when I like the deep tissue massages that really go in there and like just get out all those knots, because I carry a lot of my tension in my shoulders and my neck and trap muscle, so I'm just gonna let my head hang a little bit. You can do the same, it'll really help loosen you up. Just move your shoulders. I know it looks weird, but it'll help just untense the body. Oh, it feels good. Alright, now that we're nice and comfortable, we got the intro out of the way. Let's get into the drama. So, where the hell do I begin? Okay, I told you about the girl that has the dog. Well, up until recent, she's been really cool, really good tenant, except for the dog situation, right? We're not supposed to have animals. No animals are allowed here, unfortunately. And she had a dog, and she would try and hide the dog, but she only had a dog, even though the doggy is tiny. She would put it in like this little carrying case and like kind of hide it under her arm. And I don't know if she put like a muzzle on it so it couldn't bark or what. But she would try and hide the dog. Well, we all knew she had a dog, but we were like, not the end of the world. We're gonna mind our business, right? As long as the dog's not bothering us. Well, that all changed, and I'll tell you why. So, I've told you guys about Miss C before, mostly on my Patreon, but Miss C is an older woman that lives in this little community area, and she's in like the duplex thing right next to us. My son absolutely loves her, and she loves him. It's like having another grandma for him. She's just the sweetest. My son actually kissed her on the cheek the other day. visitors, like a random Joe can't keep his car there every day. It's just visitor parking for us, our visitors, okay? Well, for whatever reason, dog girl, instead of parking in her spot up front, wanted to park on the side, and has been pretty much since she lived here. And she told us once it was because she was like dodging the landlord. So I'm like, I'm not asking any questions, not my business why she parks there, but she would always park in visiting parking instead of her own spot. Well, Miss C wasn't feeling very good a couple weeks back, and she had company, which was like her sister-in-law, I believe, and her sister-in-law came and stayed with her for a couple weeks. No, not even a couple days. I'm tired, I'm getting delusional. It was maybe like 4 days until she nursed back to health. And Miss C's sister-in-law parked in visitor parking, and dog girl wasn't here that day. Must have been at work or wherever. And Miss C's sister-in-law parked where dog girl usually parks, even though it's visitor parking for anybody. She always parks there. Like, she doesn't go in her own spot, even though it's not her designated spot, right? Well, she must have got pissed about this, and instead of saying something to Miss C, she writes a note, and this will not be the last note that is written, so this is quite the story, so try and follow along. Can you look and listen? Can you look right over here? What about over here? Can you look over here? Good. What about here? And what about over here? Can you hear that as well? Good. Anyway, she was parking there because it was an empty spot, and she was told it was visitors parking, and so she parked at visitors parking, as she should. Well, dog girl writes a note and puts it onto the mailbox where everybody has to come get their mail, right, with a key. And it says very rude things like, people need to be more considerate and not park in my spot. That parking space, or those parking spots on the side of the building, are for only people who live in this community, and those are designated parking spots, not for random people that you have visiting you, which you've lived here the least amount of time of everybody, and that's not the case. Like, you have misinformation. And the way she went about it, like I said, was very rude. It was not very nice. Well, Miss C is extremely nice and sweet, and has always been, but she let the cat out of the bag when she'd seen that note. And a couple of days later, we're coming in the house, and she was like, "Did you see the note that dog girl left?" And I was like, "Yeah, what was that about?" She was like, "It was about my sister-in-law, when, she was parking in those spots, and how dare she, my company can park anywhere they want." Well, Miss C decided animal when nobody else has had one, and you try and like hide it, and you got like a lot of balls leaving. I don't like that when you're like breaking the rules, when you know you're not supposed to have an animal. And everybody here has been very kind in not making a fuss about it and not blowing you in, and you're gonna like be rude about something as silly as a parking spot that's technically not yours anyways. Park in your own spot. Why don't you park in your designated spot? And so it's all over parking, which is crazy to me. Okay, so we got that situation going, okay? The TikTok. I can't do it. Okay. Before I make a fool out of myself. Now it's gonna be in my head. So we got that situation going on, okay? Miss C and Dog Girl. That's their own little situation, okay? Okay. So the main door, we all obviously have locks on our doors, but we like to lock the main door as well because privacy, duh, you know. And Dog Girl broke her hand. Supposedly, okay? Supposedly broke her hand. I don't know why she would lie about such a thing, but you never know. Who the hell knows? Okay, so we've always locked the main door, and instead of her saying, "Hey guys, I broke my hand, can we not lock the door for a little bit until the hand heals?" She texts the community landlord and is like, "Hey, can you let everybody know not to lock the door? My hand's broken." So they sent out a fast text like, "Hey, you know, Dog Girl can't open the door, so don't lock it." And we're like, okay, well, if we seen her car there and it was like 1 a.m. or something, we would lock it because everybody's in for the night. Well, one time, she ended up, like, her car was there, but she left with somebody else in their car. So when she came home, she had to unlock the door. So that happened, and she had to unlock the door, and I hear the door slam, like smash, and I was up filming. I'm like, what the F? So I poke my head out, and I'm like, what's going on? And it was her, and she'd seen me. She didn't say anything, but she'd seen me. And I'm like, this little bitch, like, really, you're gonna slam doors? What is going on? So I wrote her a note, and I put it under her door, letting her know why we lock the doors and issues that we've had prior, and you know why we have the security system that we have here now, and all of that, so that maybe she could better understand that if it's under, after 1 a.m. and your car's here, the door's gonna get locked. Well, that went over fine. I would have just talked to her when I seen her like an adult. But she works like weird hours, and she's like rarely ever home. Okay, so there was that. Well, the next day, I get a text from the landlord saying what she did was she like a quote tweet, but in a text. So she took the text that Dog Girl sent her and just forwarded it to me. So I seen exactly what she wrote. And she wrote, "Hi, landlord. Can you please tell Rachel and Chris to stop locking me out? I don't know why they're doing it on purpose, but they are. My hand is still broken, and so long time ago in the apartment because the dog had pooped all over the place. And these are beautiful renovated apartments, like gorgeous, gorgeous apartments. And they just put like brand new plush carpeting in and redid the entire kitchen and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but a while back she got caught with the dog and they found all the poop in the apartment. And they told her, in order to stay here, you have to, like, get the dog. You can't have the dog. Well, she lied to them and told them that she got rid of the dog, that her dad took it. She never did. So Missy tells her in this letter, you know, we're not going to be nice about your pet anymore, and you're snitching to the landlord about every little thing, asking us not to lock doors, you know, telling people they can't park in certain places that specifically for those people to park in, and just causing all kinds of trouble. Well, Dog Girl ends up writing back, and then I see Dog Girl, and it was like uncomfortable, right? Everybody's feuding, so I see her, and I end up opening the door for her because I had my hand on the knob going out. She was coming in, so I'm like, oh, let me be courteous, right? She didn't say thank you, nothing. So I was a little salty about that, but I'm like, I try to be very courteous, I guess you would say. Mama raised me right. But don't get it twisted. I can definitely get ratchet, and I stick up for myself when I need to, and I always will, and that goes for everybody and anybody. And when it comes to my baby boy, don't try me. Okay, so she comes in because I'm opening the door for her. She's got the dog hidden under a blanket. I can hear the dog making noises, and she like hurries up and darts with the dog. I'm like, girl, what in the world? Well, I guess Miss C typed out a letter. She must have seen the dog too under the blanket, and the next day we wake up and there's an anonymous typed out letter that says, the first headline was Peekaboo Doggy. Peekaboo Doggy, Peekaboo Doggy. And it literally said Peekaboo Doggy, like she wrote the note to the dog. And it said something along the lines of, your mom must think that we're stupid with trying to hide you under blankets. She better get more creative next time. You better believe that eyes are on you. You're not gonna get away with this. You don't treat people terrible and, get away with it and expect everything to just kind of blow over when you're continually causing problems among people. It was just funny because she's this like cute little older lady that's so happy all the time and cheerful and kind, and she's reading this letter. Literally said Peekaboo Doggy. Like, what? Genius. When I read it, I showed it to my boyfriend and I'm like, you have to read this. Oh my god, hysterical. And we were like cracking up. And that was the last letter between the two of them. Well, somebody else that I just moved in has 2 vehicles. They have one in their designated spot and one that they park in the guest parking. Well, wouldn't you know that Dog Girl leaves a note on their window because they must have parked in her spot. Leaves a note on their window and pretends she's the landlord. Literally signs it, landlord. It says, this is designated parking. You can't park here, essentially. And so these people continue to park there, and they post this huge note on the inside of their window. They have like taped to the inside of the window, and it says, to landlord in quotation marks. Funny thing is that I talked to the real landlord this morning when he was here doing work, and he said I could park here all I so many other forms of security that it's not the end of the world, right? But it is comforting, and that's the reason why it's there. But I haven't talked to her since then because I'm like, I was pissed that she went and texted the landlord and slamming doors. I felt like she slammed the door because of me, and I'm like, don't you dare slam a door on me. Do you know what I mean? So I was a little bit salty, had a little bit of beef, you know, threw a little salt in my wound type of deal, if you know what I mean. And once I get to like a certain boiling point, it's like I'm cool, collective, and it starts getting a little bit less each time. And then once I go here, toodaloo, my mouth, I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and like, I don't know where it's gonna go from there, and I really don't care at that point. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so she's moving, and she had her dad, and I think it's her boyfriend. I don't know if it's her boyfriend, and a couple other people moving her. And then tonight at like 10:30, she knocked on her door. Mind you, still haven't talked to her. She knocks on her door, and she's like, Chris had just fallen asleep. I didn't know it was her, you know. So I'm like, Christopher, somebody's at our door. So he goes and grabs something because it's late and something's knocking on our door. We have to be prepared, protected. So he goes and grabs a little something, goes to the door, and it's her. And she's like, hi, I'm moving, and I have a bunch of stuff that I only used a couple times if you want it. And it was like an air fryer, like a beautiful air fryer, and a couple other items, and she just like gave it to us, and she was super nice, and I'm just like, what? It was like night and day. So but yeah, I'm pretty sure she's fully moved out. She might be still sleeping here tonight, I'm not sure. Oh, I think I just seen like a shadow, unless I'm just really tired, which I probably am, and I have to wake up so early to take a shower and get ready for this wedding shower. I have to be there, and I'm going to my wedding shower tomorrow. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have to be there. I have to go pick up my mom, because she can't drive because of her knee, and then we have to be there at 11, and it's like an hour away. That means I have to get up at like 8 a.m., which is like 4 hours away. Fun times, wow. You guys are lucky I love you. I'm just kidding. I love filming for you guys, and I appreciate you being here with me and listening. But let me know if you like to hear my voice a little bit throughout, like the breakup of a couple words here and there that are soft-spoken. My voice is cracked a couple times in a couple videos, and I've had people ask me to do full videos of it, so I'm like, you know, I can do that. If you like it. But yeah, it's a bit craziness over here. Craziness. Literally, these letters. And I was so shocked that Miss C, like, went so hard. Don't mess with that lady. She made her point. But, I seen Miss C today, and my son knocked on her door. He likes to go in her apartment, like, look around and stuff, play. And as soon as she opened the door, she was like, did you see she's moving? And I'm like, oh god. Yes, of course I see she's moving. So she's elated. She's on cloud 9, so happy about it. But I was just shocked at how far the beef went. But this girl started with so many different people, and then just picks up and moves. Like, I'm out of here. Probably because of the dog. And I love the going on here.